What is your American dream?
My American dream, I've achieved it already. I'm retired for 18 years. I get a pension and Social Security. So I got my
American dream is to kind of survive in the black and brown body, right? So whether you're Mexican, whether you're black, a lot of people are going to look at you because you're black and brown. And it's just a matter of saying like, hey, like I'm in this body. I didn't choose to be in this body, but I'm still great regardless.
My American dream is honestly to get my parents a home.
My American dream is just happiness. The American dream is what you make of it. There is no one American dream. It's whatever you make of it.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. Wednesday, July 4th. Not July 4th, July 14th. Excuse me very much. Excuse me. I don't even know what I'm saying. So far, let's start again. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 14th. It's Hump Day. Now I've got it all set.
There we go.
Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, Vanessa Contreras. How you guys doing?
Here we are.
I was totally off. I don't know what I was saying for the first 10 seconds.
I think it's because of what we were talking about.
We were
before.
just talking about
money. We're talking about Hump Day stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about Hump Day stuff. We were talking about money. Jonathan got me all frazzled.
Yeah,
and then Julian's in my ear. 3, 2, 1. I'm like, what? Ah!
But you guys will find out what we were talking about soon.
Yeah, because Jonathan filled me in on one story. He's like, would you believe this? And I'm like, what? Really?
And I had to ask her, what would you do?
Mm-hmm. All right, Vanessa Nesquik Contreras.
One great pre-Hump Day sesh.
I always wanted to ask this question because Nesquik stuck as the name. Are you really quick? I mean, are you a fast person? Are you fast? Are you speedy?
So.
Are you speedy? Like, who do you beat in races? Have you ever raced anybody?
I mean, maybe it could just be a race of how clever I am.
That could be too.
Wicked,
right.
vivid I am.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that very much. She's very quick-witted.
You know, I like branding. She's quick with the fingers. And,
I like quick-witted.
Listen, she marketing. She's the social media strategist.
Right.
She be doing all that too.
I just needed to know what we were quick in. Now I know she's quick-witted, which I agree. I thought maybe that you would be fast too. You know, like if we like.
I mean, on the road, I'm pretty fast.
I can see that too.
No, because we needed to. We got invited to like this like kind of like thing where we had to put somebody from the Bradshaw Live into a 100-yard dash. So I said, Nesquik, of course, she's quick.
Right.
Oh.
Right, not that kind of quick.
No, okay.
I mean, I ran track. So,
maybe you should do it.
Yeah, I ran track.
Right. I shouldn't be me. I've had 6 knee operations, so I don't think they want me doing it.
I don't think you would want you doing it.
No. I would be in last place. All right, let's say hello to the squad. Chetty Manbordy. How are you, Nicole Roberts? Pamela Laird. Squad up. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Andrea Wright, squad up. And who else we got here? Christine Cardi, Jessica Levy.
Hey.
She is happy it's Hump Day. She's all in caps and ready to go. Christy Consali, squad up. Mavo Tom, squad up. Abadoon Jamo, squad up. Linda Shaw. Who else we got here? Alan Abrams. And bringing abroad to yard, Trudy. Bringing abroad to yard, Trudy. She's definitely Jamaican because somewhere the yard is in there, right? So we know she's Jamaican, Trudy. Let's go to, or that's my guess. Let's go to YouTube. Westman, squad up. Suzy Q Mac.
Yeah.
Squad up, how are you? And Kevy R. Harris, squad up families. Proud mom with a pre-immigration question. My 9-month-old baby Grooving. Oh no, it's not.
Oh no, that's a great comment of the day
This
right
is
there.
a comment of the day.
I like that.
Pre-comment of the day. I thought it was a question. My 9-month-old baby grooving and dancing when she hears the intro music. You'll not only make me happy, but my baby happy too.
Aw.
Makes me confident to go ace that interview.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Proud mom.
Right, baby.
Ace it.
Oh yeah.
Boy, people love the Bradshaw Live intro.
Jingle.
It kind
We'll do it
of
for the
runs
baby
in your
too.
mind, doesn't it? A little bit.
It does.
Does it sometimes get stuck in your mind? Da da
It-
da 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 da.
What part was that?
Wasn't that the end? No, or I just made up my own song.
Yeah. The first beat, that first note was.
No,
pretty
the
good.
end was.
Right.
I'm not very good on
Yeah.
the musical, but
Oh.
I was going up and down the scales as best as I could. All right, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, take it away. I'm really only good at answering immigration questions. We've learned that for many
we
years
do
of
know.
watching
That
Brad.
we
There's
do.
only one thing I can do good.
Yes. All right, guys. Everybody, squad up. We need you guys all to start sharing right now. This is on all social media platforms. The only way we can get the show out, share. It's through y'all, all right? We're about to start schmoozing with Brad.
Public service announcement. Public service announcement. Squad up to Maureen McFarland, who is
Uh-oh.
extraordinarily angry with me. She was the
Ooh.
first one to comment. I did not see that first comment. It didn't pop up on my Facebook, so my apologies. But if you were truly the first, I don't know for a fact, but this is what she claims. Squad up to
if
Maureen
she
McFarland.
says it, I believe you.
I believe her too.
Yes.
But I didn't see it.
All right, y'all.
Continue. I'm sorry.
I got you. We're going to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines and immigration news, including President Biden's reported new plan to clear the DACA Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals applications backlog, which is amazing.
Finally.
Yes.
And it's Wednesday, squad, so get ready for some hump day stories, including a new dating reality show that includes aliens, zombies, trolls, a horny devil, and something that looks like a groundhog.
Oh boy.
We'll see.
Oh boy.
It's actually,
I didn't
it's
see-
actually a funny.
I did not see that
I've
one.
not seen it yet, but I saw
can't
the
wait.
trailer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I did not see that yet. And of course, you have to call us to get your immigration questions asked and answered. It's the one thing I know that I'm good at. After that, it's a crapshoot. I'm not really good at much else. But if you want legal questions asked and answered, I'm your guy. Call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. If you call right now, we will get you on our show. We only have one person on hold right now. A lot of people say I'm not going to call, I won't get through. I'm giving you a hint. Call. And of course, internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. Later in the show, after we answer your immigration questions on live calls, we're going to go to social media check-in, and then we're going to hear my final part of my discussion with Bruce Goldstein, the President of Farmworker Justice, about the Farm Workforce Modernization Act of 2021, known as amnesty, which would provide farm workers and others with a path to legal immigration status. He is on the front lines in Washington, D.C., and he's going to be telling us what the most latest and greatest update on amnesty for immigrants, so continue to watch. But right now, it's time for schmoozing.
Yeah.
So good news for DACA recipients. As of May 31st, there was 81, this is the bad news for DACA recipients, then we'll get to the good news. There was 81,000 petitions filed, backlogged at the end of June with USCIS for DACA recipients. 81,000 people applied for DACA,
Wow.
and the application's sitting there. Nobody did anything. Of those 81,000, 62,000 were first-time applicants filed. Of the 62,000 applications for first-time people filed, that since it reopened after the courts eliminated Donald Trump's ban on DACA first-time applicants, out of the 62,000, USCIS has so far adjudicated 1,900 of them. So finally, Joe Biden, on July 14th, he has told USCIS to give more resources to DACA recipients. USCIS Interim Director Tracy Renaud said the agency was working hard to process applications in a timely manner. It has fixed technical problems. It is moving immigration officers over to DACA recipients. And they are making a public awareness campaign to educate DACA applicants how to file the application to reduce processing times. What they really need to do is just put more officers on the cases. The agency said in correspondence with Congress people, biometric appointments were limited for a period of time due to COVID protocols. However, those scheduling issues have been overcome, and USCIS expects significantly more DACA initial requests to be completed as biometrics collections increase. USCIS also noted is sending many first-time DACA petitioner requests for evidence to determine their eligibility. There's a lot of people. What this shows is a lot of people file on their own. They don't file right. Gums up the system. Not only gums up the system for others, but it gums up the system for themselves. So they're filing, and they're not filing properly. Immigration's requesting more evidence, delays their cases for months and months and months
so
and months and months.
So that affects the DACA ones too. And it really sucks because I know even some people who were, one in particular that was a DACA recipient since like 2012, and his thing expired in July and he got terminated from his job because of that.
Yes.
So he's super happy now. You know, he lost his insurance, like health insurance and all that, just because, you know.
But also now there's a way to expedite those cases if you are going to lose your job for humanitarian reasons. So hopefully the backlog will decrease. USCIS says they are putting more resources to it. We'll see how that works out.
Nice. That's
good news. I'm hoping for the best there.
That's good news, though.
Yes. Do you see what's going on in Cuba?
No.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on in Cuba.
Really,
there's huge protests. Huge protests in Cuba against the communist government. Demonstrations are coming as Cuba faces the worst economic crisis since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Oh, wow.
An increase in repression against political opponents, strained healthcare system at a critical stage of the pandemic. What this shows is that when people are hungry and when people don't have food and medicine, which are the primary things to keep you alive, food, medicine, maybe a roof over your head, you're going to start protesting no matter who your government is.
That's true.
Democracy, communism, authoritarianism.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't have, your government doesn't give you food, medicine, and a home. People are going to the streets.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in Cuba right now. We find when people, and that's, by the way, all around the world. You don't have something, that's when governments get toppled because of that.
Right.
Okay. So in Miami, hundreds of people gathered in Little Havana neighborhood in solidarity with the growing protests in Cuba. Now, going back a little bit in history, you know, there's two sides to what's going on. Okay, in 2016, Barack Obama opened up the United States to Cuba. It allowed Cubans to send money to Cuba. It allowed, Obama allowed cruise ships to go to Cuba, allowed American tourists to go to Cuba, opened up the American banking system to Cuba. Obama said at the time, it's time to bury the last remnants of the Cold War in the Americas. And Cuba started to do well. And Donald Trump came into power. He was voted in, a big constituency of his were Cuban Americans who are against the government in Cuba. So what Donald Trump did, because he wants to keep his base people who vote for him very happy.
I hate that picture of him.
And by the way, many Cubans in Florida voted for Trump.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
He put back on sanctions on Cuba immediately. He rolled back everything Obama did.
Wow.
Immediately upon becoming president of the United States. What did that do? It forced food lines. It forced people to not be able to get medication. Add that on top of a pandemic, no tourists, and cutting off any sort of relationship between the United States, Cuba went into a tailspin.
Yeah.
The idea being that if you squeeze them hard enough, people will go to the streets and start protesting. So what Trump wanted is actually happening right now. Joe Biden, he hasn't put back what Obama did. He has continued the sanctions. So it's kind of, in order to get a political result, which is what apparently Trump and Biden want, which is new government in Cuba, the people starve. Okay, and eventually they starve enough, you go to the streets and protest. And that's what's happening right now. So if you say, we don't care what the government is, let the people be and live and eat and be well and happy and everyone prosper and do what they want, then lift the sanctions. If it's a situation where we're gonna it's like, taking somebody by the neck and cutting off their oxygen. Money is oxygen. And everybody knows money is oxygen. Not just to the Cuban government, to me, to Vanessa, to Yo-Yo. If you have no money, you can't breathe.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what the U.S. government is doing to Cuba right now. No money, you can't breathe. People are in the streets protesting. So are we going to make them miserable for how long to get a political result? And there's two sides. Some people say get rid of the communist government there, which is really an authoritarian government. It's not really communist, but get rid of the authoritarian government, put in a democracy, get rid of Castro, get rid of Castro's people. And if people are going to starve, that's the reality. Other people say, poor people. Why are you making these poor people starve? Open back up to what Obama did. Let them eat. Let them live. And whatever happens, happens. What do you care who rules them? Let people live and be happy. But the United States wants a political result.
Oh.
And by the way, right now the Cuban government has blacked out the internet.
Oh gosh.
So nobody has internet connection right now in Cuba, so that they can coordinate any sort of protests. Now, President Biden, he has not lifted the restrictions so far. He said, when asked about lifting the sanctions, he pivoted and said, I don't think we've seen anything like this protest for a long, long time, quite frankly, ever. So he wants the protests to continue, Biden, too. He wants the Cuban government to be toppled as well. Interestingly, he was the vice president of Obama who opened up.
Right.
But apparently he has a different thing for Cuba than Obama. But that's what's going on. Cut off their oxygen, cut off their money, people go to the streets.
It's going to be dangerous.
All right, so.
But as well as, aside from just what's recently happened with the switches in presidents, this has been going on for over 60 years. Like the Cuban community is really just, at this point, they feel strong enough to be able to rebel, and they're not afraid right now to have their voices be heard and go out into the streets because they're fed up. Enough is enough. So that's really a lot of the communication coming directly from the Cuban community.
That's the Cuban community. That's the Cuban community in America that you're hearing from. You're not hearing from the Cuban community in Cuba.
Okay, I was just sharing awareness of what I.
Of course, right. I'm saying, right. The Cuban community in America wants the government to be overthrown. A majority of them. Whether or not the Cuban community in Cuba wanted that, maybe yes, maybe no. All right, but certainly the Cuban community in America. Meanwhile, Orange is the New Black is being, that TV show?
Yeah.
The
cast, the storyline, everything is so, it's iconic. They actually saved me. The cast saved me when I first moved here from DC. I had a horrible transition and I ended up meeting half the cast and they literally took me in. So they hold a special place in my heart.
All right. Well, they also hold a special place in the hearts now of all the people in detention and ICE.
Yes.
Because a prominent feature of the show, which was two characters
it was on the last season.
Who were in detention.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they were able to know what their rights were, there was a 1-800 number for inmates, because you don't have a right to a lawyer if you are detained by ICE.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have family on the outside who knows to hire a lawyer like Farm Bernstein. But if you're inside of a detention, the reality is you're in detention, you have no family here in America, who's coming to hire a lawyer? You're stuck there in detention. Mm-hmm. I don't even know you're there.
Right.
Okay? So there is one hotline that detained people can call to learn about their rights and what they can do while in ICE detention.
So I remember seeing that because this was on the last season of Orange New Black, which is the finale season. And I remember seeing that with the hotline and them helping each other, but I didn't even know that was a real hotline.
It's a real thing. And then Donald Trump
probably was pissed.
The pumpkin, he was pissed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that picture. Oh, yeah. That just makes me want to.
Yeah, doesn't he just look like a freaking pumpkin there?
Oh, it irks me.
Right, it just irks you, right? So he ended the hotline.
Oh, what?
He said no one's entitled to know what their rights are. And he ended the hotline. There was a lawsuit. And under a July 1st settlement, federal immigration authorities agreed to provide uninterrupted access to the National Immigration Detention Hotline for 5 more years at a minimum, and pay $100,970 to the plaintiff's attorneys for bringing this lawsuit. So they got the hotline back. The hotline will be manned for at least a minimum of 5 more years.
Good.
In the show, the characters learn that the immigrants don't have a right to a free phone call after they're detained. They didn't have any money to find out how to represent themselves. Their only thing that they had was this immigration hotline. And that's a reality. That is a reality. Amanda Diaz, the hotline's manager, said in a statement, "In a system designed to dehumanize and disempower, the National Immigration Detention Hotline provides a critical means of connection for people in detention who are isolated from their loved ones and communities." So that's good.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And to our friends in France, it's Bastille Day.
Yeah.
Happy Bastille Day. Do you know what happened on July 14th, 1789? Anybody?
France won a war.
Bueller.
They won a war.
They did not win a war, but close.
I used to know because I used to work at FIAF, the French Institute Alliance.
Yes, it is the holiday that celebrates the anniversary of the storming of the Bastille, which is the jail in France that the king put all the revolutionaries in.
That's what it was.
And they stormed the jail, they released the revolutionaries, and that began the French Revolution. And now France's traditional national holiday and parade returned after 1-year hiatus. The parade in Paris was scaled down because of COVID. The traditional flyovers and military pageantry went ahead, and alongside the nationwide festivities in the southern Riviera town of Nice, a solemn ceremony was being held in the evening to mark the 5th anniversary of a terror attack that saw a man kill 86 people after driving a truck through a crowd of people watching the Bastille festivities 5 years ago. Do you remember that?
Yes, people
I remember
are just
that.
so evil.
And here in New York City,
I heard about this.
We have Little Italy.
Yes.
We got Chinatown.
Yes.
We got Koreatown.
Yes.
What else do we have? We have anything else?
Not that I know of.
I'm sure we have others that I can't think of off the top of my head. But in Manhattan, I'm aware of Koreatown. I'm aware of Chinatown,
Little
Italy, and now we have Little Paris.
Wait, do we have it yet?
We don't have it, but people are starting to call. They're starting to get official. They want an official, designation by New York City to call this area Little Paris. But people are starting to call it Little Paris anyway.
Okay.
And you know what happens when people start to call it Little Paris?
It becomes Little Paris.
It becomes Little Paris, whether New York City says it or not. It started with cousins Marianne and Leah Perrott, who founded Cuckoo, a cultural center that offers French classes and workshops for Francophiles.
They're young, too. Look at them.
Yes, and they're now petitioning to get Center Street between Broome and Grand, which is right below Little Italy, right above Chinatown, right to the east of Soho, if anybody knows this little area.
They already have little French cafes.
Yes, exactly. They have a lot of of French patisseries and cafes, and this is where Cuckoo is, which gives the workshops for the French classes. So this is apparently where a lot of people from France set up shop.
It would make sense.
It would make sense to call it Little Paris.
Yes.
So it has 600 signatures so far, and the petition, which has gone to Mayor de Blasio, says northwest of Little Italy is a hub of French businesses, boutiques, cafes, and restaurants, and yet real estate agents still name it Nolita, north of Little Italy.
Oh, no.
This can't be north of Little Italy.
Right. Little Italy is already Little Italy. Don't do north of Italy.
They don't call France north of Italy, right?
Yeah.
People in Italy don't go to Milan. They go, we're going to go to this country in the north. It's called north of Italy.
I mean, especially if they already have French businesses there. Just give it to them, y'all.
So they've covered the area with signs, dark blue and green, that say Little Paris. So people are going to start calling it Little Paris. It's the end of it.
I'll call it Little Paris.
Yeah, there's no more Nolita.
No.
It's now called Little Paris.
Nolita.
What do you think, Vanessa?
Paris is in France. It should be Little Paris. Little Paris.
Little Paris. Little Paris, right?
I'm with
it. On YouTube, there's Seema Singh is saying that there is a Little Guyana in Queens.
That's right. You know what, Little Guyana? That's Richmond Hill. But I didn't know, because a lot of Guyanese live in Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it was actually designated Little Guyana.
I didn't either.
I know.
We have a Little Ethiopia in L.A.
Is it designated Little Ethiopia?
Absolutely.
It is.
And it's very famous. All the celebrities go there. It's all the Ethiopian restaurants. It's always on TV shows. And
really?
Yeah, Little Ethiopia is in
very
LA,
nice.
Close to like Fairfax area.
Mm-hmm. There's no Little DR anywhere.
I mean, there's Washington,
got the Washington
Heights, of course.
That could be all of DR.
They should call it Little DR, right? All right, coronavirus in Mississippi. That's 2 S's, MISSISSIPPBI.
Yes.
Mississippi. In Mississippi, COVID cases have gone up 25% in the last 2 weeks. You want to know why? That's the least vaccinated state in the country.
Well, there you have it.
There you got it. Yesterday, State Health Officer Dr. Thomas Dobbs tweeted that of 7 children currently in the intensive care unit with COVID, so if you don't think children can get it, they do. 2 are on ventilators. It was not immediately clear if the 2 children who are on ventilators have the Delta variant or been vaccinated against the virus. Now, other residents getting vaccinated or have to armor against COVID-19 is not possible either because they're too young or immunocompromised, putting them at greater risk for the Delta variant. But Mississippi's having big problems.
Yeah.
And if you don't think children can get it, go to Mississippi. And by the way, if you don't think it's miserable, come interview me about my experience with COVID.
Yes.
I'll be happy to show you the videos of me with 105 temperature, coughing up huge chunks of blood every day,
Yikes.
double pneumonia.
Wow.
I was pretty bad. So, and in Tennessee, the Tennessee Department of Health is going to halt all adolescent vaccine outreach, not just for coronavirus, but all diseases, amid pressure from Republican state lawmakers who are trying to make political points and kill their constituents at the same time. The health department is also going to stop all COVID-19 vaccine events on school properties so that the Republicans in Tennessee can make political points and kill their constituents. The decisions to end vaccine outreach and school events comes directly from the health commissioner, Dr. Lisa Piercy. Additionally, the health department in Tennessee is going to take steps to ensure that it no longer sends postcards or other notices reminding teenagers to get their second dose of the coronavirus vaccines. Postcards will be sent to adults, but not teenagers. I don't know why they think that teenagers can't get coronavirus. It's very, very, very trifling.
Yes.
All right, we have some camels.
Let them out.
The camels have been waiting all week.
It's hump day.
Thank God we have Vanessa here.
Thank God.
All right, Vanessa, the first one's for you.
Oh, well, it's not really for her.
It's not really for you, but I'd rather have the discussion with you than Jonathan. You just smile, Jonathan, all right? We had too many of these it was too much male conversation between me and Jonathan last week.
It was.
Oh, I'm here now.
All right, summer's here, Vanessa. But when the sun goes down, it still gets cold, right? Even in the summer. So instead of freezing while you lounge on the couch, eating your potato chips and watching Netflix, why not keep yourself warm with none other than a crocheted penis blanket? Yes, you can buy a crocheted penis blanket now. This bad boy is the creation of Etsy seller Naughty Mature Gifts. The shop is run by Hakan in Turkey. And you can now wrap yourself up. You can now wrap yourself up in a crocheted penis blanket. Nothing more relaxing. Is that something you would want to put on, Vanessa?
That looks cozy.
That
It
looks
does.
cozy, right?
It does. Somebody's grandmother is busy.
But I have to say, I've never seen two balls move like that. I mean, I don't know if that's even humanly possible. Is that even humanly possible to move two balls like that, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias?
You gotta check out OnlyFans.
I'm asking Jonathan because I'm like, I don't know if anyone can move their balls like that, right?
I'm sure you can find everything on
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
so the product description reads, would you like to have a different and funny blanket? This penis blanket with hoodies wrapped around your feet and then stretches back and lies on your body. This blanket will come in its cover with its balls, and all you need to do is inflate the balls. It's $150.
What?
$150. Would you buy the penis blanket for $150?
That's a great gag gift,
mean-
though.
It's not a bad gag gift.
The time it took that person to...
Right.
It's the craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's not a bad gag gift.
It's not.
All right, it's not a bad gag gift.
I want to see whose grandmother made that, though.
I just don't know. I just...
That is that
That's
video
very
is
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I saw that they were selling a bunch of other crochet stuff
Right.
as well.
But this is the funniest one. You can go to Etsy.com. They are not sponsoring this. I'm just giving them a free shout out. Etsy.com.
Would you? I think
I'd buy it. I'd buy it as a gag gift for somebody.
Would?
You know.
How about the look? There's a like adult apron. There's
All right,
penis mask.
that's a little gross. All right. I think the penis blanket will stop there.
No, just go stop there.
Yeah, we'll stop there.
Yep.
All right. Meanwhile, they say beauty is only skin deep, which is lucky for hopefuls on a new dating show. who include, we said this at the top of the hour, the new dating show includes aliens, zombies, trolls, a horny devil, and something that looks like Groundhog Sam. Touted as the strangest blind date ever, this new Netflix series called Sexy Beast, which premieres on July 21st, challenges 24 singles to find love without knowing what their potential partner looks like. The 6-episode series sees their faces almost totally obscured by disguises that transform them into an array of animals and characters.
That's actually brilliant.
This is basically the Masked Singer meets the dating game, I guess, right?
Love is Blind, or Love Island.
Love Island,
they had that, I think it's called Love is Blind. It was a Netflix show that ended up becoming one of the top, shows, like I think it was last year because it came out during the pandemic, but it was basically like this concept, but you didn't see them at all. So for them to kind of, remix it and do this, I think it's brilliant.
What do you think the reactions are going to be like after, like, all right, we like each other, we want to meet, and the masks come off? We'd be like, oh.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because with the other reality show, like I said, is Love is Blind. They didn't see each other until they actually picked them, and they're still together, and some, it was actually amazing, and some they were like, yeah, absolutely not.
You would do that show.
I actually was asked to do Love is Blind, and for the second season, I turned it down.
Why? So you would not do that show?
Yeah, no.
Interesting.
Because I'm not going to hurt somebody's feeling just in case, because I can't hide my face. Can't hide my facial reactions. So I'm not going to...
You are not a good poker player.
Set someone up to that.
Yeah, I'm not going to
You are not a good poker player.
No, I'm not.
Would you do it?
I really liked that show, and I think I'd be up for that.
Nesquik would do it.
Nesquik, they would absolutely love you on that show.
Nesquik would do it.
You would be a winner.
Yes.
Like, if whoever picked you, they're going to be super happy.
People would be like jumping up and like, yeah! Look who I got!
No, seriously.
This beast! Look what she turned into, right?
Yeah, because some of them were looking at the guy.
Because you can't see people, it would take like a lot of energy to match mine. So like if you are able to match that energy and I can't see you, then like you're off to a great start.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great, I could already tell this is going to be an amazing show. I'm going to watch it.
And by the way, this is crazy. This is what Yo-Yo asked me right before we got on the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a former primary school teacher has become a full-time OnlyFans tutor.
Jeez.
Yes, she's tutoring online on OnlyFans. Eva Wild, 43, made some extra cash on the side by her teaching job by selling some not safe for work photos and videos on OnlyFans. But when the pandemic hit, she decided to take it on full time. Eva now coaches models on how to promote themselves and gain subscribers. She makes up to $15,000 every month coaching 75 models how to promote themselves and gain subscribers for up to $1,000 each. As wife and mom with a full-time career, she says, I had really lost touch with myself. My life seemed to be about everyone except me. It has been so incredibly rewarding getting to integrate my love of teaching with this new career. So she may need to teach us. I have a whole bunch of educations on OnlyFans.
I think she's teaching something
well,
a little different.
I haven't made 2 cents on OnlyFans.
You're not doing what they're doing on OnlyFans, Brad.
Maybe I need to. I don't know.
I
don't know what I need to do there.
Let's just be real.
Loosen up the tie a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
That'll get them going.
And by the way, after joining OnlyFans, talking about after YouTube star Karina Kopf. Who is she?
A YouTube star.
She's not a household name. I don't know who she is, but she is making waves. More recently, the former Vlog Squad member, whatever the Vlog Squad. You know what the Vlog Squad is?
No.
We don't know what any of this is. Revealed that she joined the subscription platform OnlyFans, much to the delight of fans seeking more adult content. And it turns out that particular subsection of the fan base was pretty massive, considering how much money she's pulled in. In 48 hours, I made over $1 million.
And she shows the receipts.
What? 48 hours.
In
Yes.
48 hours.
Look at the receipt right there.
What is she doing? What is she doing?
Look at the receipt.
What is she doing on
It says
OnlyFans?
it. Oh, well.
Can someone check what this woman's doing on OnlyFans that she made $1 million in
And
48 hours?
This is a day before my birthday, y'all.
In messages?
In messages, in subscriptions,
What is she doing?
in tips. Well, what do you think she's doing?
What is she doing? You know how much
this
money
one
Bradshaw
gonna
Live
catch
has
me
made on
outside.
OnlyFans, Vanessa? 0. I will show. We don't make anything on OnlyFans.
So that's what we were asking. Like, if you were offered,
Yes.
you know, that much money. I mean, look. And then I saw that she gambled after just to celebrate and made like $30,000 more. I'm like, what?
All
the
right.
heck?
So cop.
And she's just about to turn 18.
She's not 18 years. She has to be over 18 to do this.
Are you serious?
She can't be under 18.
Baddie bad or whatever.
No. This is somebody different.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, Karina Koff. She can't.
Oh no, that's Bad Baby.
Yeah,
You talking
I'll
about
tell
Bad
you.
Baby.
I'll tell you
No,
why. Is this who Karina Koff is? Is
Yeah.
this who she is?
Yeah.
Okay, put her back. So she got the idea. She's 25 years old. She had to be over 18.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
thought it was
All right,
Bad
so,
Baby.
All right, so she's attractive. She's got, showing her cleavage. She fed into the idea in the moments after her big reveal by sharing a message from a fan who gave her a $100 tip and casually asked her if she can show some female genitalia.
There you go.
So there you go.
That's what she's
So
doing.
that's what she's doing. $1 million. $1 million in 48 hours. Female genitalia. Which leads to the question.
There it is.
If you were guaranteed $1 million, this is like the Robert Redford movie with Demi Moore.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. If you were guaranteed, now there's no guarantee you would get it. So, you could show your female or male genitalia
Right, and not even
make
get
a
it.
penny and then completely embarrass yourself.
Right.
So, that's why people, Indecent Proposal, right? That was the movie, Indecent Proposal, where Robert Redford guaranteed Woody Harrelson $1 million to be with Demi Moore for the night. If you were guaranteed $1 million, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, would you do it? Bear it all. No holds barred. The full Monty.
It's got to be more. It's got to be more. But I definitely.
It's got to be more than $1 million.
It's got to be more, but I could be bought.
He could be bought, but it's got to be more than $1 million.
Yes.
Vanessa,
Right.
I'll let you take the fifth if you want, but you can answer if you want.
I will have to just always see eye to eye with Yo-Yo, and we'll have to raise the price.
Yeah.
Right. I see your million and raise it. I see your million and I raise it.
Listen, because I'm going to have to, I was just talking about, I'm going to have to be able to give my mom a good meal just off a GP, just so she could be like,
Yeah. Now remember,
so she doesn't have a heart attack.
Now remember, depending on what state you are, you make $1 million. In New York City, for example, you're paying more than 50% in taxes.
Yeah.
So
then you're walking out with 500,000?
You're walking out with less than 500,000.
Hell
You're gonna walk out with about 475 or something like
My
that.
mama's shame ain't worth that.
That's what I was talking about. But then if I give my mom a good meal, she's gonna be baby oiling baby boy.
But in Miami, Vanessa, you'd walk away with more. You'd walk away with over 600,000. The difference in tax. That's why people are moving to Florida.
Yeah.
I feel like
But
if
you still
they
need
want
more.
us for a meal, we could talk them up.
Carol Anderson, the Tiger, says, I can see Yo-Yo doing this.
So
Yo-Yo, there was 16,000 people who petitioned. 16,000 people petitioned to see Little Paris turn the area to. I think we can get more than 16,000 people for Yo-Yo on OnlyFans.
So funny thing is, I get that in my DMs almost daily. Like, so OnlyFans? Absolutely not.
All right. By the way, in today's education, which can only be seen on OnlyFans, which is absolutely free, We don't make any money on OnlyFans. I don't, sadly. I talk about 3 very important things you should do if you're injured on the job in a construction accident. You can see all my projections on OnlyFans, fully clothed. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your litigation braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. Construction accident law is different in each state and is very complex. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system to your advantage if you or your loved one is ever hurt in a construction accident. Now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are more than 150,000 serious construction site accident injuries each year in the United States. That's enough to fill 2 NFL football stadiums. And in fact, the Liberty Mutual Workplace Safety Index recently reported that United States companies have paid out more than $62 billion for workplace injuries in only 1 year. That is more than $1 billion per week. And the annual cost to United States business of lost time workplace injuries is greater than the gross domestic product of 91 countries, according to data from the World Monetary Fund. So this is really important to know because there is big money on the line if you get injured. And you want the money in your pocket and your loved one's pocket and not in the pocket of some fat cat at the insurance company. So listen up, because some things are universal no matter what state you're injured in. Now, most worksite injuries fall under workers' compensation and prevent you from filing a civil action for your personal injuries. But in New York and in many other states, if you get injured on a construction site, you can obtain workers' compensation and also file a lawsuit for your pain and suffering, your lost earnings, and all past and future medical bills. So if you fall, something falls on you, you're injured on the construction site, these are the things you must do to make sure you put yourself in the best legal position to ensure your highest money settlement. Number 1, stay where you are and call an ambulance. Do not have your employer or coworker drive you to the hospital, because then there is no record that you were injured at a construction site. The insurance company could say the accident never occurred where you claim it did. Number 2, take pictures and video, or if you're too injured, have your friend and coworker take pictures and videos of you and everything around you. Number 3, don't speak to the site safety inspector or site safety foreperson. The site safety inspector will pretend to be your friend, but they're not your friend. The site safety inspectors are employed by insurance companies to try to get information from you about the accident so that they can use that information against you. You got immigration questions. I got immigration answers. Call right now, 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Dan in West Virginia. Dan.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I have a question. My wife just went through adjustment of status, and she wants to know what would be the next step. She did get her she got her work permit and her advanced travel, and when she went and got a job, they said, you need a Social Security number. So she went down to get a Social Security number, and they did paperwork, and I guess she gets it in like a couple of days. but my wife really wants to know what's the next step after getting her.
Well, I
adjustment
assume she
status.
already took her fingerprints, so now you're just waiting on a final interview. And at
No,
that,
we had that already. She got adjustment status approved.
oh, you did.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful! Congratulations. The next step is they mail you a green card.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Are you
and
sure?
then,
Did you had an interview? They interviewed you, and the adjustment of status was approved.
right, yeah, she started process last September.
Okay, so if
And
then
we
she's
got
a
interviewed in
a
May.
lawful resident of the United States. When
Right.
she got the adjustment approved, was it a 2-year or a 10-year call? Was it before 2 years of your marriage or after 2 years of your marriage?
Before, right before.
Okay, so unfortunately, she's going to get a 2-year green card, not a 10-year green card. And in 90 days, the next step would be 90 days before the expiration of the 2 years. Within that 90-day period, before the expiration of the 2 years of her permanent residence, you're going to have to file an I-751 application to remove the conditions. But she's a permanent resident for the next 2 years for sure.
All right, and one other question. On her work permit, it expires next
But
year.
she doesn't need a work permit. The green card is her work permit. It should be in the mail any day.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
All right, thank you. All right, bye.
Let's go to Steve in Arcadia, California. Steve.
Yeah, hi, Brad. Good
Hi, how are
afternoon. Honestly, a little desperate. That's how I ended up finding your channel.
Oh, gosh. Okay. What's going on?
I've been for a really long time in the process of a VAWA visa.
Mm-hmm.
I was unfortunately the victim of a really abusive and violent marriage.
Okay.
I arrived here in February 2019.
Where you from?
Belgium.
Okay. And how did you arrive here?
I originally came with the plane with my ex-wife. You know, this probably heard this before, the whole spiel of if I'm going to live where I grew up, I'm going to be happier, it's going to be better for us.
Wait. Let's go back a second. What type of visa did you come here on? An immigrant visa, a green card, a tourist visa, an ESTA? What did you do?
I came here on in Belgium, they don't really give you visas.
So
they
you
just
got an
give you a
ESTA.
passport.
You got an ESTA. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
I got an
entered.
ESTA,
You
yeah.
entered on the ESTA. 90 days. When did you marry your wife?
Probably about, my ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
I want to say 6 to 7 years ago in Belgium.
Okay. When did you divorce your ex-wife?
I am currently not divorced yet because the person who is filing all my paperwork, which is an immigrant consultant, for some reason said that it was in my best benefit to not do that yet.
Okay, I'll tell you why in a second. When did you separate from your wife?
About between 40 and 60 days after arrival, so it's about a little over 2 years
late
ago.
2019. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you said it was you left her because your life was at stake. I think, is that what you said?
Well, she actually just left me short after arrival and left me to fend for myself in the past 2 years.
Okay. What are you feeling comfortable about what the abuse was, or you'd rather not talk about it? And so, okay, if you don't want to talk about it.
Well, I mean, no, I have no problem with it. I mean, it's obviously for the best because it was a really, really abusive and emotionally twisted marriage for a really long time. I just,
Did you ever have to call the police on her?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll leave the sordid details if you want to have a personal conversation with me. Now, the immigration consultant, so you didn't go to a lawyer, what did he or she file for you?
So the reason I went to an immigration consultant is because it was someone we both knew, and she was willing.
Take a step back again.
Okay.
It doesn't matter why you went. My question to you is, what did the immigration consultant file for you?
It was a really big bundle that she filed. I know one of the things that I'm waiting for is any answer on my I-360.
Did you file an I-485?
I think she did. She's the one who filed everything.
Do you have a work permit?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you did not file an I-485. Sounds like to me, if you don't have a work permit, that she
No.
only filed an I-360. Did you pay any sort of filing fees?
Well, I do know she filed something else because the last update I ever received was a notification saying that they were not going to call me in to take new fingerprints. They were going to use the ones that were already in the system.
All right. Did your wife file for you at some point? Or never did?
No, she didn't file anything. No.
Okay. And lastly, what was the last thing you've heard from immigration?
The last thing I heard was in the beginning of May, where they were trying to send a receipt out of Vermont that was linked to the I-360, and for some reason, unfortunately, could not be delivered by mail to the recipient address of the woman who did all the paperwork. And I ended up sending a letter back to Vermont.
Why was your mail being sent to the immigration consultant and not you?
Because, in all honesty, I have been, the past 2 years, couch surfing from couch to couch. I never have a permanent residency. I'm literally trying to survive.
So, first of all, you need to get a work permit so you can better survive, number one. Okay? So you need to file an adjustment application. Yes, you go online and do an AR-11 so you can change the address and get the notice sent to you. The desperation is what? Because you haven't heard, you don't know what's going on?
Well, I always keep getting the same, up until now, I was always getting the same advice, I would say, from the immigration consultant saying, like, don't try and file for anything yourself, don't ask for anything yourself. When I hear something, you'll hear it.
So this is what you need to do for yourself. Okay, A, change the address so you can get the notification, because who knows what they sent you. Okay, number two, you need to file an adjustment application immediately so you can get a work permit, so you can stop going from couch to couch to couch. Hopefully your I-360 is approved. Hopefully this person knows what she or he is doing. I would suggest having a consultation with me, and we can help guide you better. You're desperate because you're not getting help from anybody. That's why you're desperate.
Yeah, and it doesn't help me either that the person who is doing my immigration consultations is also the tax lawyer of my ex-wife because they're family.
Okay, so that's a conflict of interest. So you shouldn't even be using her to begin with. All right, so hold on one second. You need help, all right? Hold on. Let's go to Macy in Marietta, Georgia. Macy.
Hey, Brad. How you doing?
You?
I'm good. Hey, Yo-Yo. Hey, Jonathan. Or Jonathan. Sorry, I always want to put a J. I always want to put a J in his name. But anyway, I got 3 questions for you.
Yes.
So, first question. Well, let me give you a small backstory. So, I'm at the NVC stage with my spouse. My spouse and stepkids are in Nigeria. 3 kids, 1 spouse. 2 of the kids got documentarily qualified. Now, mind you, I sent the same documents on everybody. So 2 of the kids got documentarily qualified. The other 2, spouse included, I had to send in, what I found was another W-2, which I still scratch my head on that because it's like, that doesn't even cover, there's barely any money on it. But anyway, okay, I didn't send it. I submitted it. I'll eat that.
What's your question?
So now,
What's your question?
My question, the 2 that are documentarily qualified, the way I understand is they're in the queue to get an interview. Now, are they going to be interviewed to, is everybody going to be interviewed?
Eventually everyone's going to be interviewed. It sounds like these 2 are ahead of the other 2.
Okay.
But yes, everybody will be interviewed.
Okay. Second question, if you can, what are you seeing in terms of interviews going with the backlog in mind for you as an attorney, like for your office?
People are getting interviews, but they're coming in trickles, not in waves. It's trickles of interviews, trickles of visa appointments. People are going in. Our clients are going in. It is just a very slow process these days.
Okay. I was hoping you'd give me a little hope.
The hope, I don't know where, well, your husband, he's not documentarily qualified, so he's not even at the end of the line yet. He hasn't even made it to the line yet. You got to make it on to get documentarily qualified just to make it on the line, and then hopefully get to the front and get an appointment.
Okay.
So you got to move it along.
Okay. Third question.
Yes.
I have an upcoming surgery like next month, and I really don't have anyone to help me with,
So one of the things you can do is request a humanitarian expedite because you're having I hope it's not a serious surgery, but it would help your case if it's a serious surgery that you need people here to help you.
Okay, that's what I want to know. All right, that's it.
Okay?
That's it.
And
Y'all have a blessed
you do it
day.
yourself. You write out a letter, humanitarian expedite. I need my family here. Surgery, wah, and explain it all.
Got you.
All right?
Got you. Okay, cool.
Okay,
cool.
but don't
Bye,
use the
y'all.
word wah. Nobody would understand that, but you can understand what I mean. All right?
All right.
Thanks. Good
All right,
luck.
bye-bye.
Let's go to Nathaniel in Brooklyn, New York.
Hello.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good.
I don't know if the name the name familiar to you. I was on your client once, but anyway.
Okay.
I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
I'm here on a B1 B2 visa. I've been overstayed, but cut a long story short, my stepmother filed for me way back years ago, and I was there with immigration, everything, and back and forth when I went to interview, they told me that the law had been changed. Okay. But now I'm still here. It's going 17 years now, and it's so sounds so good. And then Joe Biden decided to help with the
What is
immigration
your question,
system.
Nathaniel? Tell me what your question is.
Yes, the question is right now my sister wanted to file for me.
Okay.
So I want to find out if I don't know how close the immigration thing is. If she should go ahead and file or wait on it because.
Well,
I
mean, if your sister files for you, it's going to be 10, 12-year wait.
Right.
The longer you wait for your sister to file for you, the longer you are at the end of the line. So it's $535 for a filing fee. Why not have your sister file for you? I'm sure you wasted more money in your life than $535 for a filing fee. So my advice is tell your sister to file for you immediately. Waste another $535. It's not going to kill you. That's the filing fee. Let her file for you. Get in the system. It's 10 to 12 years. Who the heck knows what the law is going to be in 6 months or in 6 years or in 12 years? But at least get something going.
Right.
That's my advice.
So the last question is if she files for me and the immigration thing is coming through, I can still get on board,
You can
right?
always get on board because with immigration, you could have 75 cases going at the same time, whichever one comes in first.
Okay, thanks, Brad.
All right, Nathaniel, good luck.
All right.
Let's go to Aid in Staten Island. Aid.
Hi, Uncle Brad. Good evening.
Good. How are you?
I'm good, and you? My children are back in Nigeria, and my husband is petitioning for them. So they went for the interview and everything, but at the interview, they kept asking for documents, but I keep submitting the documents, and at the end, I got a revocation letter. But what happened?
Why was it revoked? They denied it for a reason. What was the reason?
They didn't give me no reason, and that happened in March. But what I think happened was, I've been married 3 times, one in Nigeria, twice here. And I got divorced once. With my present husband, we have 2 kids already. But my 2 kids in Nigeria were from a different relationship, and they both have different last names. So on the birth certificate that my mom tendered at the interview, my name wasn't correct on it. You understand? So
okay,
that was what
you're filing for your children or your spouse or everybody? I'm confused.
No, my children. My husband is a citizen. I'm a green card holder. So my husband died.
So if your case and there's a problem with the birth certificates, the solution is you take a blood test. Your kids take a blood test. They compare the DNA. Blood don't lie. That's the bottom line.
They didn't ask me for that.
So what I think you should do. Are you a citizen or a resident?
No, I just put in my. I have a 2-year green card, which is going to expire by October.
How old are your children?
One is 16 and the other one is 10.
So your husband was the one who filed for them?
Yes, because he's a citizen.
All right. So you should be contacting us. We'll try to call the embassy and see if we can get a blood test still. If not, I would suggest we refile again and do this right and get them here, one or the other, because if it's revoked, it's revoked.
Okay. When they sent the revocation letter, they said the NVC or US, they're sending
that
it
takes
back.
a long time to hear. You're better off to just refile again.
Oh, okay. But the problem with the birth certificate was the birth certificates are used filing for the children when they go to the embassy because it was
problem
laminated.
is, it doesn't matter what the birth certificates are. You take a blood test. That's what should have happened. Blood doesn't lie. They're either your children or they're not.
No, the problem was
I'm telling you what the problem was.
Okay.
They don't believe any document from Nigeria. That is why Donald Trump. I'm just telling you the truth. So you're listening to me.
Yeah.
Every document from Nigeria, U.S. government says we don't believe it. That's the new thing.
Okay.
It's going back from Donald Trump. That's why he put a ban on Nigeria. He said there's so much fraud coming from Nigeria, we believe nothing, and they still don't believe anything. The only thing they believe is blood doesn't lie. I'm telling you, DNA is DNA is DNA. These are your kids. You take a blood test, they're here. That's what should have happened. They should have offered that to you. We're going to try to call the embassy to see if we can resurrect it and still get them to offer it to you rather than having to go through this again. That's the answer.
Okay.
They don't believe documents. It doesn't matter because this one said this and this one said, it doesn't matter. Take a blood test and end it. That's the way. That's the solution. Hold on one second.
All right.
Thank you. Let's go to Stephanie in the Bronx.
Yeah, Hi, Brad.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I have 5 children. I was married to an American citizen.
Right.
I have 5 children with my husband. But he passed. He's now passed. He's now deceased, right? 4 of my kids were born in Jamaica, and 1 was born here. But 2 are here as citizens, and the other 2 are in Jamaica. So I have the smallest one who was born here with me.
All right, you're giving me a puzzle. All right. Who are we talking about? The 2 in Jamaica that are not U.S. citizens?
Yes, because they were born in Jamaica.
So we're talking about 2 children. Don't forget about the children of citizens. It doesn't matter. We have 2 children that are in Jamaica. How old are they?
How old are they? One is 16 and the other one is 17.
16 and 17-year-old children in Jamaica. What is your status?
That's the thing. I don't have any status here.
Okay.
So that's what I would like to find out.
Your husband passed away recently then?
He passed away 4 years ago.
4 years ago. When your husband, before your husband passed away, did he ever file for you?
No, he did not.
Okay.
He started filing for the children, but because of problems with his family, because I think they were a bit racist against the relationship and myself, the marriage and myself.
But why would he file for children and not you? Aren't your children the same race as you? Why?
Well,
I mean you're saying they're racist, so he filed for your children, but not you. That doesn't make sense to me. Tell me more. Tell me more.
They are. Remember, he's white and I am black.
Okay.
Yes.
But these are your children. But these are your children, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this man was married to you. He filed for your children. How far did it go for the 2 children who are, let's forget about black or white. Let's just get to the immigration. How far, it doesn't make sense why he didn't file for you, but that's a whole other story we can have off air. And by the way, what you should have done was file a widow petition. You had 2 years to do it. So now I don't know why you didn't do it. You could have filed a widow petition within 2 years of his death and gotten a green card, but now it's too late. So that's why we got to figure out what to do for you. But for the children in Jamaica, how far did he get?
He didn't get very far. I think he just started the application. It was not submitted or anything.
Oh, so nothing was filed for anybody then?
Right. Nothing happened.
So if nothing was filed, then you're back to square one. You're basically calling me, I'm out of status. I got 2 kids in Jamaica. How do I get green cards? That's your question.
Right. Because I am here. But at the end of the day,
your question is, I'm here out of status like 30 million other people. I got 2 kids in Jamaica, like 30 million other people who want to be reunited with them. Help me solve my life. I can't do that on the show, but you could have a consultation. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. There's no, I don't know how to. We got to go have a whole consultation and figure it out. Let's go to Raquel in Phoenix, Arizona.
My question for you is my husband filed the petition for me when he was a green card holder a year ago. Hello?
I'm listening.
Right. He recently became citizen 2 months ago. We do have a lawyer on our case, and he recently became a citizen 2 months ago.
Great.
And our lawyer filed the adjustment of status.
Fantastic.
After that, I started looking on the USCIS website for updates. The first update I received was my case is active. They're actively reviewing my case. The next update I received was...
What's your question? What's your question, Raquel?
Okay, my question is, they send my application to Department of State for visa processing. Now, they're asking me for.
But you filed an adjustment application.
Yes,
correct?
And they approved that part, the petition.
They approved.
I did that.
One second.
They
back it up.
Approved the,
back it up, or maybe this way, back up. You have an approved I-130 that got sent to the National Visa Center, and separately, your lawyer filed an adjustment for you, and you're like, whoa, what am I supposed to do now? Because I'm getting notices to go back to my home country. It's very simple. Okay, and your lawyer should be doing this. Once you have a case number from the National Visa Center, you put, you write to the National Visa Center in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Ray, the case number. Dear Sir or Madam, I am in the United States. I'm filing my adjustment. My case number is above. Please transfer my file to USCIS. Thank you very much. End of story.
But my lawyer...
I just told you exactly what to do.
I tried to reach out to my lawyer about it, but she's ignoring it. Like, she hasn't reached out back to me.
Okay.
So I should go ahead and do it myself?
Why not? It doesn't hurt. I mean, the reality is whether you write that letter or not, your adjustment's going to go through because USCIS is going to request the file from the National Visa Center anyway. But you can write it too because it makes you feel better.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, but you're fine. Okay?
Thank you.
Your lawyer shouldn't ignore you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Let's go to Mommy in Philadelphia.
Hello?
Mame. Is it Mame or Mommy?
It's Mommy.
It is Mommy. Okay, what's going on?
So I came here to the U.S. as a student, as a visitor visa.
Uh-huh.
I overstayed, and now I am married to a U.S. citizen. And he about to petition for me so I can get my green card. But he was in jail for drug usage. Now,
is he out of jail now?
Oh yeah, he been out of jail for a long time, but he was in jail for using drugs.
It's fine as long as he's out of jail. There's no warrant for his arrest. He lives with you. It's a real marriage. Go for it.
Oh, okay.
That simple.
Great. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Go for it. Why not? And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You can drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your immigration questions as best as I can. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to get back to you, but I do answer everybody. You could also follow us at Bradshaw Live. You follow us at Bradshaw Live. You can't handle 2 hours, but you can handle 30 seconds of us. Follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. And of course, Bradshaw Live on TikTok, our fastest growing community. All of our social media, or many of it, and our speed rounds up on Bradshaw Live on TikTok. And of course, I will be taking one article of clothing off every day on OnlyFans until I make $1 million in 48 hours. No, I won't. But you can follow me on OnlyFans. Bradication is absolutely free. I don't make a penny on it. And Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras.
And in a few minutes, we're going to be checking into social media to answer all of your immigration questions on social media. And later in the show, we are going to hear for the final part of my discussion with Bruce Goldstein, President of Farm Worker Justice, about the Farm Workforce Modernization Act of 2021, which passed the House in March. It's now going before the Senate. It's known as the amnesty for farm workers, and we'll see where we're going with that.
And now, in today's Close-Up, Spar and Bernstein, partner and immigration attorney Shannon Legrier-Mengret explains what a Stokes interview is.
A Stokes interview basically is a marriage interview where the officer separates you. And in New York, they are kind enough to actually give you a heads up. So you'll go into an initial marriage interview. They'll question the both of you just like we just talked about. And at that point, if the officer is uncomfortable and doesn't feel like they can grant it, they will then send you another interview notice for a Stokes interview where they will separate you. In other jurisdictions, you should go in there prepared for them to separate you. So many times, like in Alabama, in Florida, they will separate New Jersey. As soon as you walk in, they're separating you. So you should be prepared for that. They separate you, they ask you a series of questions. It can be any. They'll ask one spouse a series of questions, and then that person will step out. The second spouse will come in and they'll ask the same questions again. Then both will come in front of the officer and they'll basically look at the answers. And if there were any discrepancies, then at that point they need to address it.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media checking.
All right, first one comes from Rosie KT, a Brad Squad VIP member. I am a LPR. I petitioned for an I-130 for my son on October 12, 2019. When he was 19 years old, it was approved on January 22nd, 2021, after he had just turned 21. How long should I wait for NVC to secure his visa for an interview? He's in Uganda.
Well, you got to be able to pay the fee bills from the National Visa Center within his 21st birthday and the time it took for the I-130 to get approved. And he should stay under 21 for the F2A category. So let's hope you get the fee bills and you pay it all within that time frame.
John Adel, another Brad Squad VIP member. How do I confirm that I am not in removal proceedings?
Call 1-800-898-7180. That's the U.S. That's the ICE hotline. Enter in your alien registration number. If it says there's no record, that means you're not in removal.
Okay, Molly B on YouTube. If I do not receive a decision at VAWA interview, what do they normally revise before sending someone a decision?
Well, two things. It could be that the officer has to speak to a supervisor about an issue. It could be that your security checks haven't cleared. It could be that they need to write a denial letter. And the longer it takes for them to approve your case, the more likely it would be that you would get a denial letter. It's much quicker to press a button and send an approval than it is to actually type up and take time to give the reasons why they're denying you. Usually what happens is you go for the VAWA interview and then several weeks later you get your approval. So just hang in there. I'm sure you'll get through.
Chitan Tande on YouTube. Will the EAGLE Act pass in 2021?
I have no idea.
EAGLE Act pass in 2021.
The EAGLE Act.
I don't know if something will pass or not. Magic 8 Ball. Who's asking? Shatan. Okay. We got a politics question here. Will the EADL Act of 2021 pass Congress? Can you please read the future, Magic 8 Ball? And the answer is... Reply is hazy, try again. Even the Magic 8 Ball can't figure out what's going on in politics these days.
All right, Peter Mimba on YouTube. I went for an interview for AOS in January and haven't heard anything from them. I'm planning to travel abroad for 2 weeks. I have advanced parole. Do you think it's safe to travel shortly?
Bon voyage. Enjoy your trip. It's absolutely safe.
Rosemarie Barnes on YouTube. I have been in the U.S. from the age of 7. At 16, I was accused of accessory to murder. It was not a fair trial because I was told by a lawyer. What will happen next with immigration?
If you go to jail for more than a year and you got tried as an adult, that is a crime of violence. It's an aggravated felony, and you would get deported.
Okay, Nicola Nicely on YouTube. Can I use my green card to do an invitation letter for my boyfriend in Jamaica to invite him to Thanksgiving?
You can, but I doubt it will work.
Javane Slowly on YouTube. I did my immigration visa interview in July this year. How long do you think it will be before I get a reply from them?
I have no idea. Yo-yo.
Proud Mom on YouTube. Does a one-time petty theft, which is a crime of moral turpitude, require a waiver?
As long as you spent less than a year, less than 6 months in jail, and the maximum sentence was less than a year, which usually petty offenses are. So if you got a slap on the wrist, you spent a day or two in jail, you just paid a fine, and it's misdemeanor, and the maximum sentence you could have got was 1 year or less. It's a petty offense. You do not need a waiver.
Binta C on YouTube. I filed a VAWA in June of 2019. I received 2 prima facies. How long before I receive approval?
I don't know if you'll get an approval, but to know how long you're going to get a decision, it's a little over 2 years these days.
Eva PB on YouTube. I applied for a work permit through VAWA last year in April. I got a letter from immigration that said to give them until September to look at my case. Can immigration ask for more time, or will they decide by then?
I hope they'll decide by then.
Petrona May on Facebook. My son did his interview last year, but it was affected by the presidential proclamation. In March of 2021, the embassy contacted us for our tax documents, which we submitted on June 24th. His status was updated July 13th, but still says refused. He hadn't received any email saying why he was refused.
Well, he got denied, so you need to contact a lawyer to figure out what your problem is.
GT Bank on YouTube. I have a pending adjustment. I have done the interview and I'm waiting for a response. Do you think my U.S. spouse can apply for my minor kid back home, or do we need to wait till we get a response?
No, file now.
Olive McLeod on Facebook. If the embassy gives someone 14 days and immigration at the airport gives the person 6 months, do they need to get home on day 14, or can he stay 1 month without repercussions?
He could stay 1 month without repercussions. He could stay 6 months without repercussions if he wants. The difference, this person doesn't understand the difference between a visa and admission. A visa that he got at a U.S. embassy for 14 days says you're allowed to cross the border for the next 14 days. When you cross the border and you're at the airport, they say how long you can stay in the U.S. after you've crossed the border. So the visa was good for 14 days. You made it within that 14 days to cross the border. And then they told you, now that you're here, you can stay for 6 months. But if you only want to stay for a month, perfect. Actually, if you want to get a new visa, I wouldn't stay more than 4 weeks.
Okay, MW on YouTube. I'm out of status and my sister is a U.S. citizen. She would like to file for me. How long after she puts in papers can I get my work permit and Social Security?
You're not getting it for more than a decade, and who knows if you'll even get a green card that way.
Babatunde Fajamisin on YouTube. Can I travel back to my country for some time immediately if I get my IR2 visa endorsed? I am still awaiting an interview date for my kids. I had to leave behind in order for me to meet my visa deadline.
Yes, you can travel.
Okay, Asian Crimson on YouTube. Relating to the VAWA question earlier, can we stay over 1 month?
Stay over 1 month for what?
Let's see what they were talking about. I don't
know what she's
anything.
referring to. Maybe the team or the in the back can let you know, the crew in the back.
Okay.
We can come back to that one. All right, Vanessa.
Kiki on YouTube. I just realized that the probate court made a mistake in our marriage certificate. They made the date the 13th instead of the 15th. We already applied for AOS. What do we do in this case?
Go amend your marriage certificate and bring it to the interview.
Delvic David.
Or correct your marriage certificate, not amend it, correct it.
Delvic David on YouTube. My sister married a U.S. citizen in 2014, and he filed for her in 2016. They submitted everything that was required, and she went on the interview. They took her passport and kept it till it expired. What do you think the problem was?
I have no idea. You need a lawyer. We got to find out. Vanessa.
Navdeep Singh on YouTube. I got married 2 months ago and my wife disappeared. What should I do? I also have a pending U visa.
She disappeared? Meaning that she left you and you don't know where she is? Or one day you came home and she's just gone, someone abducted her? I don't know what that means by disappeared. You have a pending U visa. You need to go find your wife. If she really disappeared and you go to the police because someone abducted her. If she left you and she's not telling you where she is, that's a different story. So we need to know more than we need to know what disappeared means.
Oliver Philippe on YouTube. Can I change the location of my embassy for my immigrant visa to another country, which I'm currently in, but not legal in that country?
Generally, the answer is no, but you could always request a third country to accept your application and process there, but you would have to do it and request it, and then it's their prerogative whether to take you or not.
Akmagdali Islov Move on YouTube. Can I request withdrawal proceedings at immigration court after filing for VAWA?
No, you cannot. You can request that they postpone further your removal. They can do some sort of administrative closure or schedule a new master calendar years in advance. But you got to get your VAWA approved. You just can't say, I'm withdrawing my deportation. It's not for you to withdraw. The government's trying to deport you, not the other way around.
Mauricio Romero Fernandez on YouTube. My IR5 visa was issued and stamped on my passport. What can I expect upon re-entering the U.S.? Is there any chance I'll be denied entry?
Well, you have a green card on your passport. They may take you into a secondary inspection to make sure that passport stamp is real, because anyone can buy a stamp and stamp it on your passport. So they generally bring you into a secondary room, confirm the stamp is real, and then they let you through.
Fred G on YouTube. I got an email from NVC stating that I was documentarily qualified October 10th, 2020. It was first stated I will be scheduled within 120 days, which elapsed, and another 60 days. Priority date is October 30th of 2018. I have an F21 visa. What can I do?
Well, if you're documentarily qualified, hopefully you'll get a visa appointment soon. As we've talked about on our show many times, the appointments are coming in, they're trickling in. It's because of COVID, they're extraordinarily backlogged. Hopefully you'll get an appointment soon.
Taufik Dabi on YouTube. I'm a U.S. citizen and I'm in charge of my parents' property overseas. If somebody wants to take over, can the U.S. Embassy hire a lawyer and help me to get this land? I have all the documents for this land.
The U.S. Embassy is not hiring a lawyer for you. You need to go hire your own lawyer.
Marie Allen on Facebook. I filed an N-600 for my 16-year-old daughter. I got the receipt number from them on March 26, 2021. I haven't heard from them since. Should I be worried?
No, it takes about 7 or 8 months to get an interview.
Angel Angelin on YouTube. My son was denied when he applied for his 10-year. He's still in the marriage. They say the marriage is not legit. They live together and have a daughter. What can he do?
That's strange that it's not legit and you have a child together.
Right.
Refile again and get a better lawyer.
Ibankun AJE on YouTube. I'm in the process of submitting my VAWA application. Can my U.S. citizen abusive spouse petition for my 2 kids, 13 and 6? We got married a few years ago.
Wait, you're an abused spouse and you're saying my spouse is abusing me, or you're in a bona fide marriage and you're saying my spouse is filing for my children. Pick one.
Pantherita on YouTube. My husband has been in removal proceedings since 2018. We applied for an I-130 in 2019 on the basis of marriage to a U.S. citizen through naturalization. It's been pending for 2 years now. What can we do to speed up the I-130? The master hearing was January 22nd.
Well, you can threaten a mandamus. That'll pretty much get you an appointment pretty quickly.
Simply Ben K on YouTube. I got married in March of 2019, but in March of 2021, my husband filed a nullity of marriage against me, and I responded to his petition through divorce. Is there any chance that I'll be deported because of this?
Well, your husband tried to annul the marriage. You're trying to divorce. And what is the person's status? Can you read the question again? Read the question again.
I got married in March of 2019, but in March of 2021, my husband filed a nullity.
Okay, so we don't know what this person's status is, and you're asking me if you. I don't know if you have a green card, you have a 2-year card, a permanent card, you're a citizen of the United States. How do I know if you're going to get deported? It has nothing to do with the divorce. I need to know what your status is.
Christy Brown on Facebook. My friend is on a J-1 visa, but he doesn't want to go back home next year. It is the last year of his program. What can he do, or is Biden doing anything for J-1 teachers?
Biden's not doing anything for J-1 teachers. He needs to go find a lawyer.
You can too on YouTube. I have been married for 3 years. My abusive husband is in removal proceedings with a pending I-130. We recently separated and he's filing for VAWA. What will happen next with his case?
She's concerned about her husband's case, who they're separated and he's filing for VAWA. I guess maybe she doesn't want him to get it. I don't know why she's questioning what's going to happen with this man after she's separated from him. But if he can prove that there was physical abuse or extreme emotional abuse, he can prove he's a person of good moral character, and he can prove it was a bona fide marriage, he's getting a green card whether you like it or not.
And last one, Paula Antoine on YouTube. I did my fingerprints in December 8th, 2020. How long do I have to wait to get my green card?
I don't have the slightest idea. I don't even know how she's getting her green card, right?
Right.
Just a fingerprint. September 1st. How's that?
No.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you what year.
Right.
All right. This week, I've been speaking with Bruce Goldstein, president of the nonprofit organization Farm Worker Justice, which works for the rights of migrant and seasonal farm workers. Bruce's organization is strongly advocating for the Farm Workforce Modernization Act of 2021, which is before Congress and would provide farm workers with a path to legal immigration status and update the H-2A temporary worker visa program. Today, we're going to hear the final part of my discussion with Bruce regarding more details about how the bill would streamline the H-2A temporary worker visa program and how we can get the bill passed. Let's watch. Bruce Goldstein is the president of Farm Worker Justice, a national nonprofit organization that works to empower migrant and seasonal farm workers by improving their living and working conditions. Recently, a new legislation, the Farm Workforce Modernization Act, passed in the House and is now waiting for a vote in the Senate. Bruce joins me to discuss farm worker justice and what this new legislation would mean for both farm workers and their employers. Welcome, Bruce. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me, Brad. I really appreciate it.
Let me ask you a question. End of the year, Farm Workforce Modernization Act passes or doesn't?
I think that there is a reasonable chance that the Farm Workforce Modernization Act passes by the end of the year. There are a lot of obstacles to it passing, but I think that with all of us working hard and getting your viewers to contact senators to tell them to pass it and ramping up the pressure in other ways, I think we get it done.
Can you explain the H-2A program, why it's not working for the farm workers?
The H-2A program, which originated in World War II, allows agricultural employers to apply for permission to bring in foreign citizens on temporary work visas for seasonal jobs. They're supposed to show that there's a labor shortage, and they are supposed to advertise the jobs to U.S. workers. And to show a labor shortage, they're supposed to advertise the jobs at wages and working conditions that meet the standards of U.S. farm workers. And if they advertise those jobs at those wages and working conditions and can't find enough U.S. workers, then they are permitted to hire foreign citizens who come in on temporary work visas in what's called a non-immigrant status. It's a very restrictive visa. Part of the reason why the H-2A program is so abusive is that the workers who come in may only work for the one employer that arranged the visa for them. They may only stay in the United States as long as the visa lasts, as long as the job lasts. And they must go home when the job ends. If they want to come back in a following season, the worker must hope that the employer will request a visa for the worker, because the worker has no ability or right to apply to the US government to get an H-2A visa. It's totally controlled by the employers. And they are very reluctant to ask for any improvements, to report illegal practices, and they work to the limits of human endurance. They do whatever the employer says to be able to keep the job and to be invited back the following year. Now, the employers, they complain about the program as being expensive. So only about 10% of farm workers in the United States are brought in under the H-2A program. But the program is one of the few programs in immigration that's unlimited. Employers can bring in any number of H-2A workers. The reason why more farm workers are not brought in under H-2A is that there have been ample numbers of farm workers in the United States, U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, and undocumented immigrants. So a lot of employers don't see the need to apply for H-2A. So the program is rife with abuses. And for years, we've litigated and advocated and worked with lawyers all over the country to fight these abuses, which sometimes are quite serious and amount to human trafficking.
What changes does the Farm Workforce Modernization Act do to the H-2A program?
So one of the big changes is that for the first time ever, the H-2A guest workers would be covered by the principal federal employment law for farm workers. There's an employment law called the Migrant and Seasonal Agricultural Worker Protection Act. It basically allows farm workers in the United States to demand to know what their job terms are. And then if the employer violates those job terms, file a lawsuit in federal court and enforce them. The law also regulates the use of farm labor contractors. That is, growers a lot of times hire labor intermediaries. They call them farm labor contractors. And the law requires that those farm labor contractors be licensed and requires the growers to use only licensed labor contractors. But there are many abuses. Growers hire labor contractors, they violate farm workers' rights. Then the grower says, I don't employ the farm workers on my farm. They're employed only by the labor contractor. We sue the labor contractor, they have no money. And so the grower gets off scot-free, the workers don't get anything, and the grower then hires another labor contractor who does the same thing. This Migrant and Seasonal Agricultural Worker Protection Act doesn't apply to H-2A guest workers. The Farm Workforce Modernization Act would apply it to H-2A guest workers and to the employers. So for the first time, the guest workers would be allowed to go to federal court to enforce their contract rights. And that is really, really important. Because right now, the H-2A guest workers, at best, they can go to a local state court and hope that a local judge under state contract law would be willing to rule in favor of them.
But if they do that, the employer is going to fire them. They're out of status and they'll never be able to come back here ever again in their entire life.
Well, but there are rules about retaliation. And now we'd be able to sue in federal court against the employer for that retaliation. And we'd be able to ask the Department of Labor to allow them to come back into the country.
What do you say to people who say, okay, great, we're not going to need any more farm workers because we're legalizing them all? But you just finished telling us that it's a very dangerous job and it's a low-paying job. So as soon as these farm workers get green cards, they're now going to go and take my job away in the auto body shop or in the store, or, you know, they're going to start competing for my job because they're not going to want to work on a farm. We're still going to have farm worker problems. We're going to need to bring in a whole new group of people from other countries.
We hear that argument a lot. Of course, this is a capitalist economy. We expect employers to compete for labor. And if this bill were to pass, and we'd have hundreds of thousands of newly legalized, experienced, skilled farm workers. These employers should compete for their labor by improving wages and working conditions and occupational safety. In addition, the large majority of farm workers, for them, this is their career. They don't go on to become computer programmers. And we are also optimistic that once these workers are legalized, a lot of employers who are very modern business people will recognize that this is an opportunity to transform the farm labor force and their practices to really modernize agriculture, to stop having this low wage, low productivity approach and work with workers who know their job and know how to make it more productive and more profitable, collaborate with them and to solve problems and have a win-win-win situation.
What does that do to the cost of apples in the store for the average family?
Glad you asked. It turns out that farm workers' wages are a tiny fraction of the price that consumers pay for their fruits and vegetables. This analysis shows is you can raise farm workers' wages by 40%. So let's assume the average farm worker, if they're lucky, is making $12 an hour on the West Coast. It's lower on the East Coast. You could raise their wages by 40%. That is from $12 an hour to almost $17 an hour. The increased price of food to the average household in the United States would be $25 per year. We can afford to improve farm workers' wages and working conditions in this country.
How do we support this? What do we do? Let's get this thing going and passed.
It's really important that people contact their United States senators and tell them to pass the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. What you can also do is support Farmworker Justice so that we can carry out this work by visiting our website, www.farmworkerjustice.org, and make a donation online. Farmworker Justice does not charge farm workers or their organizations a dime for any of the services that we provide. So we're dependent upon people like you to support us so we can help farm workers. And Brad, I really thank you for inviting me on your show to get the word out, because a lot of people don't know much about farm workers and the situation they're in and about immigration policy.
And I'm an immigration practitioner and I learned a lot today. So thank you very much for coming on as well. Let's just talk a little bit about your career. So you've been with Farm Worker Justice for how long?
33 years.
Did you grow up on a farm?
No.
How did you get involved as working for Farm Worker Justice?
I went to law school. And after graduating law school for about 8 years, I was a labor and civil rights lawyer in the Midwest, and then decided to move to DC with my wife and kids, and had the opportunity to apply for a job with Farm Worker Justice, and never expected to do this work. They were looking to hire a litigator, and I thought it would be really interesting given my interest in labor and civil rights and my college experience reading about farm workers. But I never really expected to deal with immigration law directly. My two sons, they each married an immigrant.
Oh, wow. Tell us what your American dream is.
My American dream is that we win immigration reform. And if it's not perfect to begin with, we improve it later so that the undocumented farm workers who are currently here in the United States get legal immigration status and a path to citizenship, and so that future farm workers who come into the country to help feed us also are given a true immigration status and path to citizenship, and that through that we work with all those farm workers to mobilize them so they can ask their employers and their communities for a greater measure of justice in this country.
Bruce Goldstein, President of Farm Worker Justice. We are all behind you. We're supporting you. We all want this bill to pass. We are praying and we're going to work to do it. Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. 9 immigration questions, 50 seconds. You ready? Did I do it right? 9 immigration questions, 50 seconds.
I thought about what you said earlier. That's what I was like. But you're right.
Right. All right, you ready, Vanessa?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Is naturalization the same as citizenship?
Yes. No.
What is an oath ceremony?
It's when you become a citizen.
Can I seek asylum in the U.S. Mexican border?
Yes.
Can my wife file for a visa for my mother?
No.
Can I travel outside the U.S. with advanced parole and pending visa?
If you have advanced parole and a pending adjustment, yes.
Are U.S. citizenship applications being accepted right now?
Absolutely.
Is a housekeeper an essential worker?
No.
I'm banned for 5 years. Can I work on a cruise ship during that time?
I don't know how you're going to get here without a waiver.
Will DV lottery selection prevent me from getting a green card through asylum?
No.
There we go.
By the way, my answer yes, no.
Is that actual yes, no?
It's an actual yes, no. Because it depends on what context you're asking. When naturalization obtains your citizenship, it gives you the same benefits of being a citizen. But if you say I'm applying for a certificate of citizenship and I'm applying to naturalize, the naturalization process is going from some non-citizen to a citizen. Citizen is, I'm automatically a citizen.
There we go.
But naturalization gets you to the same point of citizenship, which is you're a citizen. So I wasn't sure how the question, So I'm like, yes, no. So but Vanessa told me, don't explain, just go on.
Good. And that's how we did it.
That's why we did it.
Explain as the balloons fly up.
Yes. All right, comments of the day, guys. Comments of the day. What do we got?
All right. Let me get my comments of the day.
You weren't prepared for that,
right? Because I thought we were about to do something
yes.
else. All right, first comment of the day. Sure. Strashin saying share. Oh yeah, there you go. When you say it, then I get it. Share. Squad can't wait for 6 p.m. to come to hear the best information crew.
Informative crew.
Oh, informative crew.
I've got yo-yo all messed up.
I was ready for some.
Share, Strachan, squad. Can't wait for 6 p.m. to come to hear the best informative crew.
There we go.
Excellent comment, Share. Excellent comment.
Work makes the dream work. From one of our VIPs, Jessica Limi Joel Reed saying, "Darn it, squad, I will be right back. Gonna create my OnlyFans website. Let us know and send the link, Jessica Limi."
And Jessica Limi, if you make $1 million, please, we all need loans.
Yes.
All right, everyone needs a loan. All right,
and our last comment of the day comes from Seema Singh saying, "Mr. Brad and team, I want you to know every day I make sure I tune in to your live. I love y'all for all the knowledgeable information. May God continue to bless all of you. Thanks."
Wow, really nice. Thank you very much. I love it when people want us to be blessed. It makes us feel good that we're doing the right thing.
We will take all the blessings.
Well, I can never not take enough blessings,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
All right, is that the last one of the day?
That is it.
All right, it's Hump Day, another one in the books. We'll see you tomorrow for Wacky World News Thursday. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it, I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. 800-529-5465, and now conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?